This is your discussion for after half term. Um, so you've got your times. This is what needs to be discussed in this area. So it's all focused around this here really, and your psychological areas for development. Okay, so you need to know your plan inside out, and you need to have done it quite detailed and focused on it. So here, this is the merit criteria. Okay, and these are the questions that you will be asked. So why have you included certain strategies? So above, in week one, we talked about goal setting and self-talk. So I need to be able to explain why I've included those strategies for my athlete. And it might be related to the results. Okay, why is it relevant to their sport? So for instance, this is designed for a tennis player. It's an individual sport, so they need to be able to have their own goals and have things to aim for. And actually self-talk is quite a lonely place on the court, so you can talk about why you might want to introduce self-talk. You need to elaborate on those answers, obviously. Why is it relevant to the performer? So you might want to talk about the relevance in terms of them and who they are and why it fits with them, and how does it fit with their lifestyle. So these are the questions you ask for the merit criteria. Okay, and throughout you should be making reference to their scores from their questionnaires as to why you've included the strategies within your program. For the distinction, which is this bit here, okay, you need to be able to justify your program, okay, and justify your design of your 6-week program. So how and why will those psychological skills that you've included benefit the athlete? What improvements should they see because of those psychological skills that you've embedded within that 6-week program? And you really need to elaborate on these points and to give recommendations for future improvement. So how would you develop that plan further? What would you do in the future if you had another year to work with that athlete? What would you do to make them better psychologically? Okay, and you must have 2 references to support that final point. So you might find a reference that says actually imagery that's used over a period of time, for instance a year, is much more effective, and you would like to focus on that and use that reference to support what you're saying. Okay, so you might want to use a reference. There's a good website called The Sporting Mind, and that might be a good place to go to find some references to support your distinction criteria. They must be discussed within your discussion when you come back after half term, and you must have your reference list with you to be able to achieve that criteria. So make sure you do that. If you don't, it won't be achieved. Okay. Thank you very much. I hope you found this helpful, and I shall see you after half term during those discussions.